Do you remember having to ask for permission in class just to go to the bathroom? Or being forced to conform to standardized practices not everyone is accustomed to? School is supposed to prepare you for life. But what if the system was designed to train workers, not thinkers? Employees, not owners? When it comes to wealth, school did not just skip key lessons, it erased them. From risk-taking to taxes, the system trained you to obey, not build. And in the world of financial freedom and wealth, these are things you would want to avoid. Welcome to Luxo-Life. Here are 15 hard financial truths school erased from your brain and why unlearning them is the first step toward real freedom. 15. Risk isn't reckless, it's required. In school, risk meant danger, red marks, failing grades, and disapproval. Students are not challenged to go above and beyond what they can do because there is this built-in fear of failure that schools have been teaching them since they were 6 years old. But in the real world, risk is the price of reward. Wealth is built by taking calculated risks in starting businesses. You will never know if your business will take off or flop. In investments, you gamble your money blindly in hopes of getting a higher percentage return. And in creating products no one asked for, yet it will all be dependent on how well your marketing is going to be. Playing it safe might win you classroom points, but it will not create financial freedom. The rich are not reckless, they're strategic, and they understand no risk equals no reward equals no riches. 14. You were trained to memorize, not monetize. In school, you have to keep in mind all the lessons you learned for this grading period to answer a 50-item test. The more words you memorize, the better your performance at a written examination will be. Schools reward memorization, but money follows practical application. Regurgitating facts might win a spelling bee, but executing ideas wins in life. While you were graded on repetition, the wealthy were building businesses, testing ideas, and failing forward. They were doing hands-on implementation of what they knew and what they have learned. School taught you to compete for gold stars. Life pays those who solve real problems and act. Knowing is nothing without doing. 13. You learned to wait for permission. Raise your hand. Ask to speak. Ask to pee. Sound familiar? At school, you were never allowed to go down to the restrooms without a hall pass or speak unless spoken to. This mindset kills momentum. In entrepreneurship and investing, waiting for approval means missing the opportunity. The wealthy do not wait. They move fast, take risks, and fix as they go. If you are still asking for permission, you're already behind. Wealth rewards boldness, not obedience. 12. School said all debt is bad, but the wealthy use it to get rich. School painted debt as dangerous, but it never differentiated between bad debt and wealth-building debt. The poor borrow to consume cars, phones, lifestyle. The wealthy borrow to invest real estate, business, assets. They use good debt to acquire cash-flowing assets that pay for themselves. Basically, good debt is used for something useful, and its purpose in life is to help you progress and keep moving, whereas bad debt is only used to be flashy and buy things you otherwise cannot afford to feel accomplished. In the wealthy individual's world, your credit score is leverage, not just a loan gateway. Debt is not evil, misused debt is. Cop 11. Failure was punished, but it's the fastest way to grow. In school, wrong answers meant shame. Another reason why students have the fear of failure and giving the wrong answer even if they know the correct one. But in real life, they mean growth. Entrepreneurs fail more in 1 week than students do in a year. Every mistake is feedback. Every flop teaches resilience. School tells you to avoid failure, but the wealthy run towards it. If you are not failing, you're not learning. Fail fast. Fail forward. Fail rich. 10. Obedience was praised, but wealth requires rule breaking. Sit down, stay quiet, follow instructions. School rewards conformity and obedience, but the richest people you know, they break the rules, they challenge systems, they think independently, they go beyond the norms. Creativity, initiative, and leadership were stifled in classrooms. But in the marketplace, they are gold. School trained you to follow wealth demands that you lead. 9. You were taught to chase diplomas, not develop value. 4 years of high school and at least another 4 years in university, the school system is all about how important that piece of paper you work hard for years is. Degrees feel safe. They're shiny, prestigious, but they don't guarantee income. School made you addicted to credentials, as if letters after your name determined your worth. But the real world does not pay for diplomas, it pays for solutions. You can graduate with honors and still be broke. The rich do not chase validation, they deliver value. 8. You were trained to trade time for money. School prepared you to clock in, clock out, and trade hours for income. But wealth does not scale with hours. It scales with leverage code, content, systems, money, and people working while you sleep. The rich build income streams, not job security. If your money stops when you stop working, you are still in the hamster wheel. That is not freedom, that's a trap. 7. School never taught you to negotiate, but the wealthy do it daily. You were trained to accept what you were given, grades, rules, and salaries. But negotiation is everywhere. Jobs, rent, equity, business deals. The wealthy negotiate everything. They understand silence is not good, it's weakness. Confidence is currency. Whether it is a raise or a real estate deal, if you don't ask, you're already losing. 6. You were told saving equals security, but saving alone makes you poorer. School praised saving, but never taught you about inflation. Every year, your cash loses buying power. The wealthy do not hoard money, they deploy it. They invest in assets that appreciate and cash flow. Your savings account? It is slowly bleeding. Security does not come from saving. It comes from multiplying. You were not taught compound interest, and that's no accident. 5. You weren't taught how money actually works. No classes on taxes, interest, investing, or credit. But you studied the mitochondria and memorized Shakespeare. You graduated financially illiterate on purpose because a confused population is easier to control. When you do not understand how money works, you can't build, only obey. Financial ignorance was not accidental, it was engineered. 4. You were sold the dream job trap. The dream was a 40-year plan. Work hard, retire at 65, and hope it's enough. But the dream was never yours. It was built for a system that profits from your labor. School taught you to submit resumes, not build empires. You learned to seek approval, not ownership. No talk of royalties, equity, or passive income, only obedience. You were trained to build someone else's dream. 3. You were taught to fear taxes, but the rich learned to master them. Tax season meant stress. Deductions were mysterious. You just accepted the take-home pay and moved on. But the wealthy do not fear taxes, they plan for them. They learn about write-offs, depreciation, trusts, and legal loopholes. Schools skipped tax strategy, and that is by design. When you know the rules, you can win the game. When you do not, you get played. 2. You were never taught to sell, but sales is everything. School painted sales as sleazy, but in real life, everything is sales jobs, relationships, ideas. The best paid people are not the smartest, they're the best communicators. Whether you are pitching a startup or applying for a job, you're selling. Learn to persuade or choose less forever. Sales is service. Sales is survival. Sales is power. Act 1. You were never taught to build only to consume. No classes on how to start a brand, launch a digital product, or create income online. Just lessons on fitting in, showing up, and following orders. You were not taught to create, you were trained to consume. But the world belongs to builders. They own the platforms, they set the prices. Stop scrolling, start building, stop buying, start producing. Conclusion: you weren't educated, you were trained. Let us be honest. You weren't taught to think, you were taught what to think. Independent thought was punished, questions were silenced, curiosity was replaced with compliance. The goal? To create obedient workers who never question the system. But wealth does not live inside a system, it lives outside it. It is built by those who challenge, create, and lead. You can keep waiting for permission, or you can reclaim your power. Unlearn what school taught you. Learn what the wealthy know. Think for yourself. No one else will do it for you. Which of these 15 truths are you still trying to unlearn as an adult? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more. Until next time.